Coverage you can count on continues with Drew Blair.
Americans are reading more and more every year. In 2010, 2.5 billion books were sold around the world, whether they were hardbacks or ebooks. And this week at Canterbury, a nationally notable poet is making her way to the school for a book and author fair. And before that stop, author Helen Frost joins us on First News Sunday along with Lori Gray. Thank you both so much for coming in this morning.
Nice to be here. Thanks.
Tell me about this author fair, Helen, that you are involved in.
Well, I'll let Lori give you a lot of details about it, but I'm really excited to be one of the invited authors. She's brought in people from around Fort Wayne, but also from out of town, and we each get a few minutes to talk about our books to teachers, librarians, students. So it's really a fun event that Canterbury puts on every year.
I'd love to know more about what you write. How did you get started in it, too?
Well, I've always written. I started out writing poetry, and I wrote poetry for about 20 years before I started putting that together with writing for children. And so in the last 10 years or so, I've been publishing books for children and teenagers.
And you're our Fort Wayne own as well.
Right, yes.
So that's great. So to have some national recognition coming from our hometown. Lori, what do you have going on at Canterbury then? This is a book and author fair.
It's a book and author fair, and it's open to the public. It's Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, starting at 8:30 in the morning, going until 6:30 on Tuesday and Thursday, but going until 8 o'clock on Wednesday because we're having our first ever author fair. Helen is our grand finale at 7:30, but we have a lineup of 6 different authors, starting at 5 o'clock with John Baumgartner and Darcy Vance. They're both middle school novelists, and Darcy's from Kendallville, John's from Fort Wayne. Then we go into Karen Lenfesty will be there at 6:30. At 7 o'clock, IPFW professor, poet, author Curtis Chrysler will be joining us. And let's see, between you and Curtis we'll have, Elsa Marston, whose book Santa Claus in Baghdad is a collection of stories about teenagers growing up in the Middle East. And then the title, Santa Claus in Baghdad, that story was made into a feature film.
Fantastic. Sounds like you have a lot of local talent coming in involved in this.
We have some amazing award-winning authors right here in Indiana and even in Fort Wayne.
Helen, why do you think this is an important thing for the community to participate in and to understand just the value of reading and the value of the people behind what we read?
Yeah, I find when children meet authors, you know, I do a lot of these events and I have witnessed both children responding to my own books and other authors, and I think it just makes it seem real to them, like somebody actually wrote the words in these books. And at a certain age, I'd say about 8 or so, children really understand that. Before that, if you say, you know, this author wrote this book, they are sometimes sort of baffled. They don't really understand. Like, I thought you weren't supposed to write in books, you know, something like that. But at a certain age, they really get it, and it's exciting for them to learn more about what actually happens before a book is something they hold in their hands. You know, someone did have to sit down and think of it and write it, and that they can too. So it encourages them both in their reading and their own writing.
Right. Such a great perspective then to have. So Lori, unfortunately we are running out of time, but I want to make sure people know the dates and times for all of these events.
Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday is the book fair. It's open to everyone, and it's a great selection of 35 different categories of books for every grade level. Come and buy books, hand-selected by teachers, librarians, and parents.
And this is happening at the Canterbury Lower School.
That's correct.
Thank you. Thank you ladies so much for coming in this morning.
Thanks for having us. Nice to meet you.